Today's video, I'm going to talk about a topic many people have been asking me. Why do you choose to qualify in the UK? Because as some of you guys might know, I am originally from Hong Kong. Like Hong Kong is as an international city, you could just qualify there. Why you come all the way to the UK, and why do you choose to start your legal career in the capital of London? So the first reason why I choose to work in London is the fact that there's so many international and giant deals in this country compared to other jurisdictions. This is probably one of those interview answers I would give at an assessment center or a partner interview. London as a jurisdiction or as a very well established legal system, it is just in the driving seat of so many international mergers and acquisitions or transactions all over the world. So every time there's this international deal or merger, if you work as a lawyer in London, you are able to have a bird's-eye view over the whole transaction. Because even as a trainee solicitor, you have the responsibility to coordinate with other external counsels or lawyers in other jurisdictions, so you can build that connections earlier on. Also, you can know of or be aware of the different elements of an international deal by working in the capital of London. So I think this is definitely an advantage for me, especially I have a more international background. I'm always interested in so many different jurisdictions, UK, US, and also in Asia. This kind of motivates me to choose London as the place to start my legal career. This is reason number one. The second reason why I choose to work in London is the fact that I realize the recruitment systems or law firms here care less about your actual grades. They actually care more about the fact that you are a well-rounded person. I think that's a very important factor for me because growing up in Asia or in Hong Kong, whether you can actually get into good law firms or big law firms or international law firms, it pretty much depends on your grades. This is the first threshold or criterion you need to satisfy. Because back home, if you don't have a good grade, you can't even talk about wanting to get into a big law firm. This is just kind of impossible, really hard for you to do so. However, in the UK, after experiencing the recruitment system and also going to lots of open days and events, I just realized that the law firms here, they still care about your grades. They have the minimum requirement. However, if you pass that minimum requirement, the burden is on you to prove to the firm that you're capable and you're a well-rounded person. You have the skills necessary to be successful as a lawyer. I just feel like London has even greater emphasis on those qualities. So I think that also makes London as an attractive legal market to me. My third reason for choosing to work in London is the fact that law firms here, I do think that they care a lot about diversity and inclusion initiatives compared to at least other jurisdictions I experienced before. I would say in London, when you look at those law firms, they have so many different kinds of diversity and inclusion events. And those events actually focus on recruiting a large talent pool and different kinds of people from different backgrounds. Say in London, I will be able to work with people from the UK, people from Europe, people from America, people from Latin America. I think it's just the fact that I will be able to experience working with different people and being exposed to different ideas and also cultures. That kind of excites me, to be honest, because I'm always the kind of guy who would bring my friends to some Asian cuisine to introduce my culture to them, and also I would love to try other people's food and also their culture and to know about them as persons. London suits my personality well. I feel like if I work in London, I just have more chances to interact with different kinds of people. It always helped me grow as a person. So I would say if you are the kind of person who like to explore the world or who like to experience different cultures, meet different kinds of new people, then I think London is a good option due to the internationality and the diversity of the population and the law firms in general. So the fourth reason why I choose to work in London is also about the prestige and also the level of training here. By looking at law firms' website and their general recruitment policies, you can see that a large number of global law firms have invested a lot of money on their trainees in general. When you look at those big law firms, they sponsor their future trainees and law students to study the GDL, to study the LPC. They even give them grants, sometimes could be a very generous grant to them, for them to live in London, which is an expensive city. Even when you attend an open day or a recruitment event in London, law firms will usually sponsor you up to a limit. Sometimes they will sponsor you up to maybe £200. There was a time I remember I was in Italy, and then I flew all the way from Italy to London, and it cost me around probably £100, and the firm basically covered the whole expense. And I wasn't even a future trainee for that firm anyway. I was just a participant in this particular law firm event, but the firm still sponsored me and paid that money. When you look at how much a firm invest into their future talent, you can see the quality of the training or the emphasis on the employees. I think this is also a hallmark of the London legal market, which I couldn't really see otherwise in too many other countries. Additionally, London is definitely the hub for legal professionals as well. So I always have this mindset that if I get the top tier training in London, I will always be able to make transition in my life if I want to. Although right now, of course, I would love to work, in London for the foreseeable future. But you never know what's gonna happen in your life next. And by having the training in London, it definitely boosts my professional reputation. So that's why I choose London as my starting point. Fifth reason for choosing to work in London is also a bit about the work-life balance compared to the East. In the West, they do focus a lot on the mental well-being of employees, and they have workshops about that. As a corporate lawyer or commercial lawyers, you are inevitable to work for long hours. This is true. I bet it's true for any kinds of big law firms or law firms in general in every part of the world. But I do think that in the West, the fact that they care a lot about the mental health, it also helps you to strike a better balance between your life and your work. And the sixth reason why I choose to work in London, I feel like it's always good in this day and age to internationalize your legal career. And especially after I finished my master's degree, I could potentially stay in this country and apply for the training contract. I just feel like it was a good moment and timing for me to make that move. Because imagine if you about to start a master's degree in a different country, maybe in the UK, Australia, Canada, US. If after that master's degree you just go back home and practice law there, I would say it will be inherently difficult for you to move back to or to step outside of your comfort zone and to work in another country anymore, because by then you feel more comfortable with your life and you also get older, then you probably wouldn't make that risky moves as well. However, right after I graduated from my master's degree, I realized that this is the moment, because I'm still in my early 20s, and then I could just give it a shot, because what's the worst case scenario if I fail? If I fail, I probably just move back to Hong Kong and I still could get some legal roles there. So it's not really that bad anyway. The worst case scenario is just the fact that I may have lost, I don't know, 2-3 years of my professional life trying to get something I really want. The younger you are, the more experience you should try to seek to improve your international profile and also your CV. So I feel like the fact that I always want to be a very truly international lawyer, having experiences in different jurisdictions, qualified in different jurisdictions, to share my experience with an international audience. This is probably my motivation to choose London as my starting point. Also, an additional point I want to mention, some people may think, oh, you want to work in London, corporate job, become a half inspector, corporate lawyer here. That means you also earn a very decent amount of money. That being said, I actually think that salary is not my main consideration for working in London, because of the fact that the taxation here is really high. To be honest, you can be taxed up to 40% of your salary if you become an associate or you qualify in the UK at a big law firm. Actually, the financial incentive are still great. Not don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still a great sum of money. But the fact that if I go back to Asia, say Hong Kong, I actually could earn a better salary compared to working here in the UK. So I would say salary is not my main consideration. For you guys who are interested to know, for me it's more like about the experiences, about the training, and also about the diversity and the kind of people I'm going to meet in this country. I hope this is helpful for some of you who have been considering whether I should do that or whether I should not do that, whether it's too expensive for me to do that, whether it's too risky, that kind of thing. Those are just my personal considerations and my personal preference. It doesn't apply to all of you, to be honest, and you have your own motivation and your goal in your life, so you should follow your dream and what you really want to do. Don't follow my path because it's not also for everyone. Some people, they would love to work near their family, their friends, they don't want to actually go abroad, but for me, I just like that excitement, and also I like the fact that I could kind of internationalize my legal career. Instead of pilot, lawyer is also a pretty international career now, isn't it? You can qualify anywhere and you can practice law in many places as well. So it's just a really exciting and fun thing for me to do. Well, for those who actually keep watching this video till the end, I just want to let you know, because I do have a dream of maybe potentially working in the US as well for a few years, but you never know. So maybe one day I will also try to apply, I don't know, an MBA at Harvard as well, because I think that knowing the business structure or how business work also could help me to become a better legal and commercial advisor as well, which will contribute to my future career. So see guys, I trust you enough to actually tell you my potential future ambition. I usually don't tell it to anyone, but I think it's important though, as a legal professional, and in this day and age, you just always need to keep thinking about other options or other means of improving yourself, so that you can become a better person, better professional, and you can actually do something that make a difference in this world. At the end, just leave me a like and also share this video with those who also want to work in the UK someday. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I still want to keep making videos, not only about training contract application, but also about my view on life in general, on working abroad in general, on being a good person or high achiever. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.